in a way, we're talking about a description of a condition of spirit that is knowable. And I think when we referred to it as one of the classes, I don't think it was in this series, but of how at that time it was really coming present for people to have an experience of it in the room. Which seems to be a lot of these classes, these things like get talked about, and then it comes in and says, and here's an experience if you want it. And it just seems to do this over and over again. And with that, it's like a state of what is so. And when you're in it or when you're experiencing it, the challenge of it is it's very hard to hold on to individuation, because the nature of it is it wants to disassemble you. When it starts to happen, it literally starts to dissolve the sense of I, the sense of, which makes sense that would be around when we were talking about, because you're at that point of freeing yourself from limited identification, the limited story. And so, one of the things I'm kind of struck, because you said the hum of God, and earlier we were talking about humble. So I think of, and grounded and earthing, but to me it's also like given over. To be humble is to be brought to the point of giving over. So able to give over to the hum of God. The hum of God is like the sound of what is. It's a sound of reality. You say, well, but, one of the things that John Rudger talked about, MSA teacher, they talk about, well, in the different levels of reality, or these different dimensions of reality, you can hear, what you hear on that level is different, like a different sound, or a different manifestation of sound. The most subtle, sublime sound is also there in the denser sound. So, like if they talk about the sound of like on the earth plane, on this plane, the sound is like a thunder sound. I remember when I first was brand new to the movement, and I did Insight 2. And it was time they did this process, you get your affirmation. And this thunder sound was so big inside me. It was just like, and I'm not sure I even knew that was the sound, but I'd never experienced anything like that graphically, like literally, like, doesn't everybody hear this? It is so big. And yet, the more refined sound, what you're doing is the sound changes as you give up. It's almost like peel off a layer of appearance, a layer of appearance, a layer of appearance. And at some point you come into this humming sound. It's like this sound of, if a million angel wings were moving at once. And it's just like a bewitching sound. Are there other sounds that might be looked at as higher than that? Yeah, could be. But it's an extraordinary power, because it's a transitional, when you're really in it, it's a transitional thing. That sound is, where that sound is really starting to happen is also, for many consciousnesses, when the conscious starts to release identification with itself as the soul, and starts to move into remembering itself once again as spirit beyond the soul. Now there are, in a sense, individuations within the spirit. That's why you could have, you could come to the soul realm, and then you could go to levels above that, and there's individuation in there, which means there's differentiation. But you could all kind of understand the differentiation is called, well, you let go of another level of illusion, and now I'm in something that is less illusionary, less illusionary, less illusionary. Eventually, there's and what all the illusions are basically forms of separation. So separation is ultimately all illusion. But But to participate in this and to play in this created thing, we accept that illusion, or we perceive that illusion as so for the time we're addressing that. But eventually, as we move higher, but that hum of God, when it's happening for us, will tend to strip away illusion for us.